Before we get started, we wanted to let you know that this episode ran very long. So we've split it into two parts. This is part one, and next week we'll have the conclusion. Now, on with the show.
Warning. This program contains very strong language from the outset. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Hard Lines, the podcast where we talk about Roast Battle UK and teach you how to write and perform the best in insult comedy anywhere in the world. My name is Drew Stearne, and joining me as always is Ms. Shalaka Kurup.
Hi Drew, how are you?
I'm very well. We had the most recent show that we did at Roast Battle. It was a banger.
It was fantastic. I had such a great time. All the battles were great.
It was.
Were they? Yeah, no, all the battles were great.
Yeah, we had three main battles, I believe, and three
short battles.
Short 3-round battles, which we talked about before, whether we like that or not. I think it definitely helped on this night. But I feel like for the more so than with any previous battle, I was really worried about my battle, and I feel you were as well. And I think we exchanged more texts about jokes back and forth than I think we have in our entire text chat history prior to that.
Yeah, we were
entirely.
both looking at documents. We were both like, does this work? Does this work? Does this work?
And it's so hard when you're writing on your own to kind of get a sense of, is this funny? Because even with stand-up jokes, when you write them, you don't know, and then you perform them, and then you tweak them. Yeah. You don't get that chance with the roast battle.
No, you have a one shot, one opportunity. Mom's spaghetti.
You M&M it.
Yeah,
you M&M
essentially,
that shit. Yeah. And it works or it doesn't. Yeah. So you have to abstractly figure out in your head, run the scenario. I'm going to say this. You don't know who's going to be on the audience. You don't know who's going to. Well, you might know who the judges are, but you don't know how they're going to take it.
I don't know if you find this, but because I've been doing it for so long, I've also started to get very bored with jokes that I know will definitely work, or I've used before, or formats I've used before. So I'm taking a lot of bigger swings because it's more fun for me, and so the uncertainty goes up. I
think you've got a unique perspective on that, and that you've done a lot better than most roast battlers. So the phrase "you know it will do well," I haven't got to that stage yet where I know this will do well. I have so many doubts about everything that I do. I don't have anything that I know will do well. But
you must have jokes where you're like, well, this has worked before, or like that Joshua joke where that format has worked before.
Yeah, so
mansplaining to two women at the same time.
Yeah, and then I did it again with Aziz, as we discussed on the previous episode. That's definitely true, that there's certain formats and structures that have worked. Yeah. But I am definitely not at the stage where I'm bored with them. If they work, I will probably beat them until that dead horse has had enough. It's not I'm not that proud yet that I'm like, everything has to be brand new every time. I would prefer it. Yeah. I would definitely prefer it.
I'm not. It's not a pride thing at all. It's more boredom from I had more fun trying to. What was I? I was trying to rhyme inner peace and anal herpes. And I had more fun doing that than I did writing any of my other jokes.
I wonder if like Chaucer ever had that, or Shakespeare, just like, how do I rhyme inner peace and anal herpes? How do I fit this into this sonnet rhyming scheme? There has to be a way of combining these entities. This is the kind of the weirdness of being a roast battle joke writer, is that again, we talked about this, but like, the stuff that's in our text exchange from the week leading up to that battle, some weird shit in there. Just questioning, is anal herpes a thing?
I never Googled it because I did not want that on my... I've already got a tab that was still open a week later on my computer that said, different names for gay man sex. So I think my internet history is already quite fucked.
Nice, yes. Yeah. And that is kind of the mindset that you get in. I think we were both falling into a similar trap and we talked about this previously, where you were going down the trap of just having 5 rounds of gay jokes, and I was going to have 5 rounds of fat jokes. Yeah. I don't think we escaped that gravitational pull of that so much.
I had one that wasn't a gay joke, and that one bombed. So I think the lesson I've learned is just do the 5 gay jokes.
I had one that starts like it sounds like a fat joke and then ends up being a rape joke. So there you go. It's a bait and switch, I think, on that one. We'll talk about my battle with Pat a little bit more. I think we're going to feature it in this episode because there's enough in there to be able to talk about a lot of interesting stuff.
I'm deeply fascinated by that battle and the outcome, but we will get to that.
But I think there's an interesting aspect because the same week, a friend of mine was meant to be doing his very first roast battle. It didn't end up happening because his competitor couldn't make it. But the discussion came up about co-writing and getting help on roast battles. And it was his first one, and he very much wanted to do it and still wants to do his first roast battle completely on his own and not asking me for help. And that's admirable and that's fine. But what I wanted to make clear to him is that a lot of us do reach out to other people to run stuff by each other.
I think one of my best jokes on the night, you wrote that one.
Yeah. And one of my best jokes of the night came from Luke Hall, who gave me like wholesale. I think I helped you with that joke. Luke wholesale gave me a joke.
What was the joke you helped me with?
It was the gay lick.
Oh, he likes a gay lick on his arsehole. He likes a gay lick on his penis.
But you'd already made the connection between him being Irish and Gaelic and then that being gay lick. I just helped you form it into a structure.
This podcast is a hate crime.
Can a hate crime be done with love? I don't know. I feel history will have to judge us on that. There's But it was great wordplay. The wordplay, you found the wordplay, and I just kind of helped use that to form a structure. Yeah. But that one did work. I'm glad it did work. How do you feel your battle with David went overall? Because you were closing the night. Yours was the headline battle of the evening.
I think it could have gone better. I think that was one of my jokes bang in the middle went so badly that I found it hard to recover from it.
Which one was that?
David got a 2-2 in university, which is how you describe him and his boyfriend, 2 2s.
Yeah. See, that's one of the ones that we discussed, and you read that to me while you were here, and I gave you the connection between 2-2 and a 2-2.
Yeah,
as in 2-2, 2:2, that in Britain what you can get as a degree score, and 2-2 being the dress that ballerinas wear. You got a laugh on 2-2. Yeah. Because the audience made that connection right there. Yeah. And then you didn't take your own advice by sitting on that laugh. You then added the extra bit, which I think confused a few people. I don't think people
no
made
one
the leap
got
with
it.
you. Yeah.
I mean, it turns out I'm the only one judging people on a scale of 1 to 10 on attractiveness.
I have a theory about this. I think if you're making a joke about someone being low on the scale, if you drop below 4, people don't know what you're talking about. Yes. I think 4 is the lowest you can go for comedy value.
That's a good shout.
And so saying someone is, like a Siberian 9 but a London 4, you could maybe there, because you've kind of established it with another one, you could potentially go lower. I've picked Siberia for a reason that I won't go into right now. It's a joke that I thought of for a particular competitor. But I think if you're doing it in isolation, and here you have 2 2s, both of them are below 4, and it's hard for us to make that connection because we usually only talk about people in above 5s. And anything below a 5, it's
confusing. Because I'd said that joke to my boyfriend after being like, I can't believe this bomb. And he's like, oh, what? Because they both wear 2 2s because they're ballerinas. And I was like, oh, I should have just, why did I try so hard?
The thing is, when you get a particular angle in your head, you're
stuck to it.
It's hard to unsee it. It's like when someone tells you that the KFC logo looks like it's a giant head and a tiny body.
Tiny body,
Once you see that, you can't unsee it. And then once you have this idea, like, oh, a 2-2 is also 2 2s. It's hard. But I thought the 2-2 connection, as in the skirt,
that would have worked better. Yeah.
It was. And the thing is, the audience felt you told that joke. Yeah. Because when you said, and he got a 2-2, the audience laughed at that.
Yeah,
like, that
and
was
I should have just stopped.
You didn't listen. Yeah. And I think the kind of spoiler for what goes ahead, I tried to stick to that advice to the letter and didn't use almost half of my jokes because of it.
But I think it was a better battle for it.
Yes, and I agree, because I think I avoided risk. Yeah. But coming back to the idea of co-writing, I certainly had a lot of help. A lot of the jokes that I dropped, because I already got a laugh in the preamble, were stuff that you and I had kind of workshopped ahead of time, which is a shame they didn't see the light of day. But
now you can use them for someone else.
I can. And I think that the benefit is you get an extra set of eyes and ears and brain to kind of think about concepts. The downside maybe is that it's written outside of your natural character and voice.
Yes.
And so if you have a very established style,
Yeah.
then outside help, it might be less likely to be of absolute benefit to you.
Yeah.
And if you have kind of more of a generic style, then it doesn't really matter as much. And I think I'm more on the generic side where it can definitely be fine. But I have certain things that I go into. So the joke that Luke gave to me is right on the fringes of
Yeah.
what I would never write that joke, but I'm clearly okay with telling it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's I think that kind of language I don't usually use.
Yeah, I think it suited your voice better than Luke's, because I think Luke was so nervous about doing it. So incredibly nervous about doing it, he never would have been able to pull it off. I think it was better that you took it.
Ooh, that's an interesting thought, because I feel that Luke is very capable. Luke Hall, who we're talking about, who's actually the MC on the night, which you can debate the ethics of him giving me a joke, but he wasn't judging it, so it's okay. I feel he goes for dark stuff quite frequently.
He does, but there's just some things that everyone has their own boundaries. There's just some things that he will not touch.
Yeah.
So I think he, especially when he's battling against a woman, there are some things he just absolutely will not say. And I think rape jokes is one of them.
Yeah.
He will not touch that.
Yeah.
And I think that's his own personal boundary. I don't know if I have one of those. I won't say a slur.
Yeah, I think I can't.
That's my only one.
I think there's certain slurs that never get heard.
Yes, the other one even though I'm going to say it right now, I won't say retarded.
Right.
Because I hate that.
Yeah.
And I think it's cheap.
I didn't use that word specifically, but I used a joke around it against the first time I battled Peter Baisley, where I said he looked like, I think the joke was, he looks like a Poundland Doctor Who, but that his vehicle of choice is the retardus.
Okay, I mean, that's a good joke.
But then for comedy value / really calling me out on it, Adam Green called out the use of it, but in a way it was to get a laugh. Although there has been instances since then where we have, as an entity at Roast Battle, claimed to be reclaiming the word. So I don't know where it currently lies on the scale. I don't use it. I certainly don't use any racial slurs, but I don't think anyone tends to.
Yeah.
The worst I can think of is someone used what we'll refer to as the P word in a battle against you.
I used it in a battle against Aziz.
Oh,
but that one, I was like, that's mine.
No, that's fine.
I can say that one.
That's it. And that's
I said his dad was backpacking or something like that.
It was that was the combination of it. And it was funny. It worked. That was in a high-ranking championship battle. That may have even been the final.
It was the
UK final.
Yeah.
But there are things that you can say that I can't. There's far more things that I can't and shouldn't say and don't. And I don't think anyone does.
Not really.
There feels to be this invisible line. Like, I've never heard a white person use the N-word during a roast battle.
Yeah. I think... Have I ever? No, I haven't. I think that would be... Why?
You would lose the room instantly.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially in London.
Yeah.
I have heard... The strangest one is... I've heard a lot of people, especially up in Scotland, I'm just throwing Scotland out there. I've heard it once in Scotland. But I have heard a lot of people use the F word about gay people. Which is strange to be that bold.
Yeah, I don't...
Because you'd think it would lose a room, because I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't because I'm a good person.
I don't see where you... Unless it was really clever wordplay.
Yeah.
I don't see why you would. And even if it was really clever wordplay...
Someone gave me a joke for David Hunter where I was like, I mean, it's almost there, where it was... he believes in a united Ireland, or grew up in a united Ireland where everyone in Ireland was united in thinking that he was an F word.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good enough, but not a...
You don't need it for that,
You don't need it.
And you could change the word and it would work just fine.
And also, it's not a good enough joke. I can't think of a single joke. Unless it's too... If you're gay yourself and you're happy using that word.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a good enough joke to ever justify needing to say it. At that point, it's not a roast joke. It's just an insult, isn't it?
And that will evolve over time. I think there are certain... I don't think that either of us have been doing it long enough for there to have been a massive change in that language.
Yeah.
But...
I think the comeback of retarded
has
been a change in my lifetime.
I think that's very rarely heard or used. And obviously there's a difference between geographical locations in terms of where we do it, in terms of what specific language.
They use it a lot more in the US.
Yeah, I think there's also an equal debate in the US about using it as there is here. But the thing is that we can say stuff that is incredibly brutal without resorting to slurs.
Yeah.
Like you can dig deep and cut deep without needing to resort to them.
For sure.
So you resorted to many a gay joke, but without using that particular F word on there. How do you feel David did? Because I haven't seen David battle before, I believe, or not much.
Yeah. I think I enjoyed it. I think the audience didn't, because he went down a very specific angle of calling me a fascist, because he latched on to Shalaka likes trains and then called me a Nazi for 5 jokes.
Was that the connection?
Yeah, because the fascists make the trains run on time.
Right.
Fascism makes the trains run on time.
So that's the specific... Okay, my immediate connection, because he was talking about fascism, but really latched on to Nazis specifically.
Yeah.
Called you a Nazi about 5 times.
Yeah.
Which I think was such a disconnect for the audience.
I think so. I think calling a small brown woman a Nazi is a very strange image for the audience to digest.
Did he do the Indian person swastika connection?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Because I feel that's just there on the table. If you're going to do it properly.
Also, what annoyed me is the fascists they talk about when they talk about the trains run on time aren't the Nazis, they're the Italians. So it's not even historically accurate. I mean, the Nazis did run a great train, don't get me wrong. Sorry, no, I shouldn't say it that way.
You heard it here first, people. Quote of the day, Shalaka Kurup: the Nazis ran great trains from a woman with a PhD in trains. This girl knows her trains.
Oh, I'm going to get cancelled so much. I've said so many things in this episode already.
We've barely even started. Yeah.
But that's what annoyed me. The fact that the fascism they talk about is Italian. It's not German fascism that made the trains run on time. It was a strange angle, but I enjoyed it because it was novel and unique.
Yeah. And the people who make the trains run on time are clearly the Swiss, who aren't anything.
Yeah.
Except evil.
He could have called me boring. I think that would have gone down well. If he was like, she's neutral like the Swiss.
Yeah. But then what would he have done for the other 4 rounds? He had something to hang on. I think he showed a lot of confidence. I thought he showed a lot of joke writing. It was a weird cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think the audience were maybe expecting more for a headline battle, potentially.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But I still really enjoyed it. I think it was fun watching someone go down such a weird rabbit hole. It was a little bit inside baseball, but I think I was talking to Christian at the back of the room, another great roast battler, basically going, what is he on about? And that became funny in of itself.
Yeah.
It became a bit, but it was a weird bit to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
Like, this is because no one bought it.
No.
And we've talked about this idea of creating a fiction that the audience can buy into.
Yeah.
But that one was kind of hard. It felt like a big conceptual leap. And
I think it got to, they were good jokes, but it got to about joke 4 or 5 where I think Adam Green said this to me afterwards, where he's like, it's easy to do a roast battle when you just write the jokes about a completely different person. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what the audience must have felt, being like, these are jokes about not her.
Yeah.
About someone else.
The thing is, if you wanted to make that connection stick, you really need to spend a bit of time establishing it, like really early on, double down on the trains connection.
Yeah.
Shalaka being someone who has a PhD in trains, which everyone in the roast battle world knows, but I can't assume that you, the viewer or listener, knows this, but you have a PhD in trains.
Yeah.
Specifically, you have a PhD in what?
Rail passenger information design.
So trains. You had to get a PhD in something. What was the title of your thesis?
Passenger experience and information design for frequent commuters or something of that sort.
People tell me I'm autistic for doing a Rubik's Cube. There you go. So
Can I say in the train community, they look down on my field of work because it's not...
There's a hierarchy in the train community, and you're a low pecking order.
Because it's like the psychology of engineering. So I'm basically like a creative writing student in the train community. They're like, oh God, she doesn't even do any engineering.
This is like the robot wars of nerds. It's just like, oh my God, you're using that as an excuse for an education. Jesus.
Yeah.
That is, I want to meet those people and spend an afternoon.
They will not make any eye contact, I can tell you that much.
Do they all have toy train sets in their basement?
Some of them do. I'm not even kidding.
Oh.
Attic, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, the basement is where they hide the children. There was another battle between Helen and Adam, which was a really fascinating battle.
We should cover that on a future I think the thing that stood out to me on Friday wasn't the battles, and no shade to anyone involved, but the judging was mental.
It was a bit all over the place.
We'll talk about it a little bit more when we cover your battle, but the judging was mental.
It was odd because the lineup of the judges was Adam Green, absolute rock solid. We know exactly what to expect from him, or do we? We'll find out. Mark Cram,
who MCs Roast Battle.
Yeah, who I've never seen do anything other than MC the show. So having him on the judging bench while Luke Hall was hosting, very odd combination that we hadn't seen before. We had Steph Aratoni, friend of the podcast, who we talked about back in our very first episode, who used to be a frequent battler, now has retired from battling and is an infrequent judge. So we don't see her that often at the show. It's always really good to see her there, either just to check out the show or to judge. And then we had Masood
Melas.
Yeah, Masood Melas as the last judge, who has judged in the past, but I haven't seen judge in a very long time, I believe.
No.
So knows roast battle, but hasn't been in that position frequently.
Yeah.
The combination ended up being odd.
Yeah. I think my most uttered phrase that night was, what are they doing?
Fair enough.
There was at least 3 different battles where I was like, what the fuck?
It was odd. Like I'm not sure how they were judging, but
it was a classic case of you think it's going one way and all the judges are trying to predict which way it's going.
Yeah.
So they're all making decisions that aren't entirely independent, which is why your whole idea of everyone has to blind judge comes back as a good idea.
So this was the idea where at the moment the MC goes down the line and each judge judges in turn. Yeah. So each next judge knows how all the previous judging has gone. However, my idea is they give all their comments, they don't judge who's won, and then it's 1, 2, 3, they hold up a card which has one battler or the other, so that they can't judge relative to each other, they all judge in absolute terms. I think you'll get more fair outcomes that way. That is my theory. It hasn't been put into practice yet. Yeah,
I think this was especially a night where you could see, maybe I'm being unfair, but you could see that they are trying to predict the outcome of a battle while also trying to vote for the person they like. But there were some battles in which they thought they were voting for someone who wouldn't necessarily have won. And then that person ended up winning because everyone kind of did a similar thing, because you can't predict what another human being's going to do. It was just a bit of a mess. And some of the judging I thought was quite unfair and not truly representative of what the judges could have actually done in that battle.
Okay. Well, we have some highlights from the show, which we'll play now.
Luke, what was your favorite joke from the night?
A couple spring to mind. You calling David Hunter a Green Party lesbian.
This is David answering the question, what if Harry Potter was a Green Party lesbian?
I enjoyed that because he did look like if Harry Potter became a Green Party lesbian. And today there's been some votes and the Green Party is the new mayor of Hackney. So it's topical. I really enjoyed that one. I also think Adam Riley had a phenomenal way with words. He had a joke about Helen freezing her eggs.
Helen has decided not to have children, but just in case, she is going to freeze her eggs by keeping them in her ovaries.
Which is a really nice way of calling someone cold, I believe. So enjoyable.
What were your favorite jokes from tonight?
Yeah, Harry Potter being a green party lesbian was very good. Yeah, just so many between Helen and Adam. Yeah, I think Adam's just like someone mentioned, one of the judges mentioned his silence at the very start was so funny. I can't even remember what he said, but just like holding it for a minute was great.
What was your favorite joke of tonight?
I mean, everyone said the Harry Potter Green Party lesbian, but for some reason, the Helen looking like she's just given blood.
Helen looks like she's just given a lot of blood.
Really got me. Yeah, I don't know if it's like the Eastern European vampire link or some shit, but like, yeah, made me laugh a lot.
My favorite joke from tonight, I'm not going to be able to remember it, but it was when Drew compared Patrick to that woman from Street Fighter.
Patrick was actually born in Brazil. His mother is Brazilian, and by the look of him, I'm guessing she was Blanca from Street Fighter.
Blanca from Street Fighter. That was my favorite. Whatever. I know what they look like. Sorry for misgendering Street Fighter characters. I know what they look like. I just don't... Yeah, it was a great joke. Knocked me out of the park. Love that one.
So we had some highlights there and a couple of reactions from people in the audience about what they thought their favorite jokes were. But we are here today to look at one of the battles from that night, which was me against Pat. This was a battle that I was really concerned about. I was really not confident about my jokes going in. One of my jokes, wholesale Luke gave to me that I didn't write at all. And again, Pat, this is only the second time we've seen Pat battle in a long time. Pat against Josh, which was a battle we covered previously, was an absolute classic. So should we dive in and listen to round number one?
Let's do it.
Amazing. This battle is between Patrick Brusnahan and Drew Stearne. You guys know what to do. Battle, 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 battle. Give it up for Patrick and Drew!
Hello everyone, this is Patrick. You might recognize him from asking Mowgli how man makes fire. I'll leave that one there.
Hello, this is Drew Stearne. Drew is short for Andrew Tate. You may recognize him if you were ever taken hostage at Nakatomi Plaza in Die Hard. He looks like Rylan if he has a gluten intolerance, but not a cum intolerance. Gay joke.
I think we've already seen the theme of what Patrick is doing, which is sailing through on ad-libs and comebacks, which will become a central theme to this battle. Yeah,
that we took that little gay joke, little throwaway reference at the end was very much a part of his battle against Joshua. And it feels like those are completely independent jokes in their own right, which are brilliant. Little asides that just win favor with the audience every time.
Listening to your joke was great. I liked it when I heard it the week before the battle. I liked it even more during the battle. You win that round for me, which will also become a theme of this battle as we progress. I didn't get the Nakatomi Plaza joke.
So,
who are you supposed to be in that reference? Are you Gary Oldman's character?
Yeah. Well, it's not Gary Oldman. It's...
I'm sorry, Severus Snape. Alan Rickman.
It's Alan Rickman, yeah. I think he's referring to Alan Rickman, that I have a vague British actor playing German terrorist.
Every reference in that joke, I was like, I don't think he knows what you look. You're standing literally next to him, and I don't think he knows what you look like. Andrew Tate, I guess
my name is Andrew, so there's that.
I mean, he's got that right.
Yeah, the Andrew theme's going to keep coming back.
Unfortunately, yes, it is.
He's looked at examples of men with dark hair and beards.
Yeah, because so you don't look like Rylan either. And I'm the last, I think all white men look the same. And even I cannot believe that he thought you looked like Rylan.
Yeah, I mean.
But not a cum intolerance. That's a funny joke.
It is.
If you looked like Rylan.
Yeah, but with a gluten intolerance, which I guess would make you bigger if you have a gluten intolerance. But if I ate less gluten, I would be less big. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. So is he? Yeah, fine. I mean, bold joke coming from Patrick.
That's the thing as well. Like the kind of rule with roast battle, if someone is only slightly bigger than you, they're fat. If they're slightly shorter than you, they're short. Like, you can make those leaps. But clearly Pat is bigger than me. So that angle doesn't necessarily play. But not a cum intolerance. I mean, that's kind of like a classic gay adjacent joke. Yeah. But then the gay joke as a little verbal sting at the end. So it does, because he hasn't really got a major laugh through that
entire bit.
And I think that's where his strength as a comedian has saved him in that round from any lack of the writing strikes he's made there. So the writing hasn't necessarily landed, but his performance has saved what could have been a weak round. So basically, as far as the audience is concerned, whether or not they're keeping score and how much they laugh towards what, they've laughed at the first one, they've laughed at the second one. So as far as they're concerned, it's been a solid round.
I wouldn't even say the problem is his writing. There's some classic jokes in there. The problem is his fucking observation.
Yeah, okay.
Have you got eyes, Patrick?
I think the part of the problem, I mean, also, we both have dark hair and a beard, white guys. Yeah. We're also both half Scottish. Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities that when you pick on someone's looks, that only really works when there's a contrast. Yeah. Which is why I lay into fat jokes so much. Which is I wrote this line thinking it was okay, the Mowgli line.
It's so good.
But I didn't really think it was as good until you had left a comment on my document in all caps saying, I love this. I went, oh, this actually might be something.
Yeah, because he does look like that.
But the structure behind it is the idea of saying it without saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I basically get to say, he roughly looks like an orangutan. Yeah. Without ever saying orangutan or fat or bushy hair or any aspect of it. Yeah. I just mentioned Mowgli and I was scared the audience wouldn't get it, whether or not the Jungle Book was a good enough cultural reference point that people would get it.
Even if you don't know the specifics of the Jungle Book films, I think people would broadly be like, who is Mowgli talking to? Probably a monkey.
Yeah, I mean that. Yes, I think there's definitely an element of that where they feel it's a structure of a joke. They hear some people laugh, so they assume it was funny. Yeah. And that buys you those few milliseconds for your brain to make the connection. Yeah. So your brain might pick any random other character from the Jungle Book, and one or two of them may be funny, and that's enough to get you in before your brain might lock into, who specifically asked him about fire. Yeah. It was King Louie. Yeah. The audience can sometimes miss that connection and it can fall flat. I was very fortunate that worked in my favor. That was not the joke of the round.
Yes. What was the joke of the round again?
There was so one of Patrick's facts is that he has a fear of heights.
Oh, yes.
And and the joke was, Patrick has a fear of heights, but we actually should have a fear of is losing a foot to diabetes. You fat fuck.
Essential to the joke.
It's
essential to the joke to say you fat fuck.
That was a Shalaka Kurup addition to that line. And that was very much something that we talked about, that driving you back to the station.
After our last recording, yeah.
And we were talking about alternatives because I had inadvertently written a joke that I'd literally heard Joshua doing quite recently, and then only realized that when we covered it in this podcast. I went, I did not write this joke. This was clearly in my head from someone else. I'm glad we looked at this so I didn't make that. That would have been horrible if I'd done that joke verbatim and not realized.
What was the joke again?
Josh's joke about Patrick was Patrick has a fear of heights, but clearly not of widths.
Oh, yes, of course.
Which is a brilliant joke. And I did not write that. Joshua wrote it. I just wrote it down, not realizing that I'd heard someone else do it before. So we were talking about ways to adapt it. Yeah. And so that was going to be the joke.
Yeah.
This was just meant to be a Shalaka Kurup style
a reference,
And early on, it was just long enough for people to consider it a joke in its own right. Yeah. And the laugh just kept going. And I'm like, I'm not going to interrupt this laugh to tell a joke that might bomb.
Yeah.
Especially one that ends in the line, you fat fuck, when I've clearly done it without saying it. So I just parked that joke and abandoned it and moved on.
And I think the round was better for it.
Yeah. So I think this is kind of set up a template, and we're going to see that happen across multiple rounds.
I was a bit disappointed by Patrick doing, and we'll see this, it's a bit of a spoiler for the rest of this battle, but it's a good idea to do the whole Drew is short for Andrew and then a problematic Andrew, because there's so many of them.
Apparently, yeah.
But to then not make a joke that links why he's calling you, for example, Andrew Tate, is kind of, you're just leaving money on the table.
I see. Yeah, so there's an opportunity to kind of
Because you just said Andrew Tate for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, that he is so much of a joke that it feels like that could work in isolation. But I see your point that establishing that, especially as it becomes clear that all the Andrews he's going to mention are problematic and that I'm just one of those, is...
And it would be such a, like, I would have loved to see that battle where every joke was, this is Drew, short for Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate, Drew rapes children. No, sorry. That's not a joke and that's not a fact and none of that is true. But something where he introduces, it would be such a good narrative arc to introduce an Andrew and then talk about why you are exactly like that Andrew. That would be such an interesting roast battle to watch.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of template-based battles are a risk, but when they pay off, they pay off big.
Yeah.
Because then people know the structure's coming and they can also think 2 steps ahead. So as soon as you mention one part, their brains are going, which also means you can do like a pull the rug out or a pull back and reveal where you can go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And we've talked about in the past how you hear jokes about yourself often.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard the same thing about trains very often, about the Asian women stereotypes, those often. I hear the Andrew thing more and more these days. So Aziz had made an Andrew Mountbatten Windsor connection in a previous battle that I did against him. And I don't go by Andrew, but that is my name. And so that is a connection that's just going to keep done. Between Andrew Tate and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, I mean, there's a lot of money on the table there. For comparison. And I know comedians called Andrew who do a lot of material about their name. I stay clear of it, but it clearly it gets aimed at me, and as we'll see, it becomes a bit of a theme. But so far, your words, you've ranked this one for me, and I'll take that point. But let's go on to round number 2.
This is Patrick. You might recognize him from Rolling After Indiana Jones. I think I'll leave that one there as well.
I wish I said that to my dinner. This is Drew. If you don't know, Drew is short for Andrew, Lloyd Webber. He's half Scottish, half Dutch, 100% not winning the World Cup. You can tell he's from the Netherlands because his hairline went Dutch on his head. Kind of bald. Page 2.
Page 2.
Page 2. I mean, it's completely non sequitur from the set. Doesn't feel part of the written jokes, but it's just a way of bringing the audience back on his side at the end. And it's just part of this genius way of doing it. I might be jumping the gun here a bit, but I feel he's doing himself short on some of those jokes because he's got multiples in a round, which some people do, and that's okay. It's not the preferred way of doing things.
But when you have multiple misses.
But also the way he delivers them, it's like he is flagging to the audience that another joke is coming.
Yeah.
Because they're done in a way like they're in a list. Like, here's one, and here's one. And it feels like by the middle one, you know another one's coming. So it's not done with the confidence like, I could quit on this if it gets a big laugh.
Yes. Yeah. Also, maybe it was the delivery, maybe it was the convolutedness of it, but he's going Dutch with his hairline. There's something there.
Yeah, I mean...
That could be...
Yeah, going half and half.
Yeah.
The maths of it needs a little bit more explanation to the audience. Because I think the audience wants to find the concept funny, but what does that mean if a hairline is going Dutch? And I think it just takes your brain just a little bit too long to make any kind of logical connection. And I don't think there is a perfect consensus on what that means. Yeah. I mean, receding is the general end point.
Yeah, going Dutch is what, half and half, splitting the bill? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's his hairline's going Dutch with his forehead. Now that might be a better way of kind of dividing it up. Like
yeah.
Like it needs just something in there to make that work.
Again, Andrew Lloyd Webber. So many jokes there.
You have to then make a connection. Like what's bad
that's
about
an easy
Andrew Lloyd
one
Webber?
right there. Just like in Cats, Andrew also has no penis. Like there's something. James Corden and Cats, you know, when he wears the suit.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
There's something, like there's so much there. All Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, there's jokes there.
Yeah, but you have to make one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just says it's short for Andrew Lloyd Webber.
But he's not,
he's not a joke in of itself enough to be a funny
in
thing.
Patrick's woke left-leaning liberal snowflake circles, which are also my own. People don't like Andrew Lloyd Webber because he voted Brexit and he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But generally, it's not a reason enough for him to be...
Yeah, he's not cancelable.
Yeah.
Really, there's...
like, we don't like him, we actively hate him.
You can still make jokes about that. You just have to make one of them.
Yeah.
Just the comparison alone. Even with Andrew Tate, like the comparison is okay. It's slightly better than Andrew Lloyd Webber, but you still need to make the joke.
But all you and Andrew Tate have in common is the name.
Thankfully.
Thank God.
That you know of.
Anyway, blinking twice. I need help.
You don't know about my Romanian sex ring. Yeah.
I'm being trafficked as we speak.
This is actually coming live from a basement in Bucharest.
There needs to be something more. You can't just drop someone's name. I don't know. I think you got that one as well. Again, what was your... Please tell the listeners, what was your joke that you dropped? Drew's got his notebook. Drew, what was the joke?
So I moved stuff around. So I already dropped the scared of heights, losing a foot from number 1. Then from the joke that I had as the actual joke from round 2, I pushed to round 3. And then the joke that I dropped was so it has a knock-on effect. So I just took that joke and I moved it into 3. And then the joke that I lost for this was Patrick looks like he was conceived with too much jizz.
Oh, thank God you dropped that joke. Thank God you dropped that joke. I was very vocal about how I was not a fan of that.
Yeah. So I think that's why that was on the chopping block. So this was kind of real-time editing.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking back at my notes and the actual joke I have for this, I moved
to the next round.
So and then I dropped actually it's more complicated than that, and I'll explain at the end, but I've re-edited my list in real time to make it fit, because the Indiana Jones, again, that was a setup joke. That was just to kind of ease the audience in.
Great joke though.
That was the first joke I wrote in this battle. And I was particularly happy with it. Again, it's one of those things where you think, well, are people going to immediately go to that? How many people remember at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark? But
I think it's a very popular reference.
It's a very easy to recognize visual, and the fact
even if you've not seen the films, you know about the bold. Like that's one of the only things, apart from the fact that he has a hat and a whip.
Yeah,
that's probably the only other thing you know about Indiana Jones.
Well, and the fact that I say everyone knows who Indiana Jones is, like regardless of if you've seen the movies, and rolling after, the only thing that can really roll after you is some kind of giant ball.
Yeah, exactly.
So that comparison gets made, and for anyone who doesn't get the reference, that buys a few milliseconds for them to get to that point. So it got way more than I think it deserved, but the audience...
I don't think so. Okay. I was in that room and I was thrilled. I was like, this is exactly what it is.
Because I told you the joke beforehand.
It made me... That and Man-Made Fire were the ones that made me laugh the most.
Yeah.
So I think it got what it deserved.
And I think from doing this podcast and just the idea of stopping when you get a big laugh, I don't think anything I had on this list would have topped that for that round. So at this point, I'm thinking, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like my confidence is built. I'm feeling good.
In my opinion, you should have been thinking that, because you should have been in.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
I was a bit not disappointed, but I thought Pat would come harder.
Yeah.
It felt a bit generic. I don't know whether it wasn't necessarily rushed. We had a good couple of weeks, I think, to work on these. So,
yeah.
I think he has done better battles, but his style, I think, still wins out. That page 2 bit at the end, just like flipping the notebook over. I think whatever he counted against himself from as they telling those jokes in a way that makes the audience feel like, oh, this is just in part of a list, there's going to be more of these, is then saved by him flipping over the page and going to page 2. So I think the audience is endeared to him regardless of how well the jokes in his round have gone.
Yeah.
So again, as far as the audience is concerned, that's the second round where they've laughed at both sides of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Patrick is just demonstrating such a great ability to win the audience over regardless of how much they've had a knee-jerk laugh reaction at his jokes.
Yeah.
Whereas I need to make them laugh because I don't have those skills in my performance. And luckily, I have made them laugh with these two.
Yeah.
So we're in a good spot.
It's an interesting debate, isn't it, whether roast battle is about performance or writing. And we've always said on the podcast it's 50-50.
Yeah, it has to be.
But when you watch a battle like this, I start to believe that it should be more about the writing. You shouldn't. This was a classic example of being frustrated by this stupidity. Not stupidity, that's mean. But the fucking stupidity of the audience.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just about enjoyment. But I'm a nerd and I will not allow people to just enjoy things without analyzing them.
Well, I agree. But I know when I'm writing things, especially if I'm writing something that I want to show to someone else, I will write in kind of punctuation to show how it's meant to be performed because that performance of the joke is so important.
Agreed.
And like showing like ... for like a clinical pause. And when someone shows me a joke that they want to do, you read it in their voice. Like, how are they going to perform it? Like, how does that performance of that joke work? Because a joke written down is not a joke, really. It's just words on a page. It's not a joke until it's been told out in front of an audience, and we can't really judge its efficacy until we know whether or not people laugh at that joke. So I think maybe it should be more about the writing, but the performance is so key. Even if it was the last 10%, it's the most important 10%.
Yeah.
Because if
we'll see that. We'll see that in this battle.
There are good jokes that are delivered poorly and fall flat. But there are poor jokes that are delivered well and get a laugh.
Yes.
So it's this is what Patrick's demonstrating, is that a performance element to it is so crucial in sometimes the last 10%, but sometimes
the only 10%.
But it's the 10% that people remember because it made them laugh. And
we'll circle back to this conversation at the end because I have some more thoughts, but I don't want to spoil the...
Okay, right. As we mentioned at the start of the show, we're splitting this episode up into 2 parts. Come back next week for the conclusion to our discussion about this battle. Don't forget that if you want to come to the live show, you can get tickets at roastbattle.co.uk/tickets. See you next week.